Good morning, good evening, and good evening, Mr. Rex's class. We're here to talk about the word highlight, which is a word for Thursday, January 14th. So highlight, the main meanings on your card are the verb meanings, but there's also a noun meaning. So highlight as a verb means two definitions. One is to emphasize something, to say or show that it is important. To emphasize it especially so that people give it more attention. So my sentence is the speaker, in giving a speech, discurso, the speaker highlighted the importance of the new program, emphasizing it to make sure people know it. So it could be in a speech, it could be in something written, in a document, could highlight something, emphasize, show that it's important. A teacher could highlight something to the class to say, make sure you know this, it's very important for the test, and highlight it. And then definition 2 for a verb is, underline these. Definition 2 for a verb is when you mark your text, mark a text that you're reading with a special colored pen. You guys probably have done this, many of you. We call it a highlighter, usually, right? Those yellow, shiny, fluorescent. You go, and you highlight the important parts of what you're reading. So it's in some ways, sometimes it's easier than taking notes. It's easier than copying everything on another paper. You highlight it, then you can go back and you just look at the parts that you highlighted. Those are, and it's usually like, a good way to do it is main ideas. And main ideas and important details in each paragraph or each section in a book. And then like when you go back to study for the test, in college you have a lot of that where you give a test. The test is a test on a book. So you go back to the chapter in the book and look through what you highlighted. And so how you can highlight, and in this class we work on what I call annotating, which is like highlight and you also write notes and questions, right? I had you underline, right? I said underline. But if you have a highlighter, in my class I had you underline this last couple quarters, but if you have a highlighter you can do the same thing, but instead of underlining, you'd use the highlighter, the special pen, to emphasize it. And it's good because it stands out, it's really obvious. It's bright, so you can see it easily. So mark part of the text with a special colored pen, or you can also use it for computers to mark an area on a computer screen. If you select something on a computer screen, like to copy and paste something, you can say select or you can say highlight when you do that. So that's also another use of that, to emphasize it or make it easier to see. Okay, highlight can also be a noun. The noun highlight is like the most important part or the best part. So most important or best part. So like, if anybody watches sports TV, there's shows, there are highlights shows, where it shows the most important, or if you didn't get a chance to watch the game, they have a highlights show and it shows you like in 10 minutes, all the goals for soccer, let's say, all the most important parts, just the highlights, the most important parts of the game. That's the use of the word highlight as a noun. The most important or best parts. Okay, highlighted is, anybody know what part of speech that might be? Adjective. It's an adjective, yes. Describing, so like you can talk about the highlighted text, describing something that is marked like this, or the highlighted, something that, we could say, the speaker highlighted the new program. The highlighted program, the program that he highlighted, so it's describing the program, saying it's highlighted, if you say something is highlighted, it means it's the thing that, describing the thing that had more attention or is more emphasized. Over here, sentence with English, in English class literature, we say, writers can highlight symbols in their stories. So definition 1, emphasize. Symbols in their stories by repeating them and emphasizing their importance. So, like in the book, in the Pearl, right, it talks about the pearl comes up a lot throughout the story, and you see different ways in which the pearl is showing greed or ambition or something like that. Or in Night, the book Night, in English 2, there are lots of examples of people talking about eyes, their eyes, and seeing and not seeing, being blind. So the writer repeats it a lot so that the reader sees, okay, it's important, because the writer repeated it a lot. All right, and synonyms, emphasize or accentuate. And I realize there's no